exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Martin K.
And it is BOLO Day. Every Saturday we bring you, well, usually my cohort, Mr. Magazine, but standing in for him today is Random Neighborhood Kid. We bring you a list of things that sold in the past week and tell you what they are, why they are, and help you in your sourcing. And we really should have had a video camera going while Random Neighborhood Kid had to find things. That was excruciating, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. He's actually said more words than Mr. Magazine already. Because Random Neighborhood Kid is not a dealer, and he doesn't understand a lot of the older stuff, so I told him to find a few interesting things, and he had a bit of difficulty. He was able to come up with 3 items, a real trooper, and then I found a few more just to kind of fill out the day. So we'll start off here with the first thing Random Neighborhood Kid found. And what is it, Random Neighborhood Kid?
All right, so we got a Magnavox 99 pocket portable radio.
AM FM transistor radio,
Yep.
1979. Do you know what a transistor radio is?
Yep.
Okay.
Transits, radio waves.
Maybe. I don't know. They were like all the rage back in the day. They were portable radios, and like back in the day, kids used to like listen to baseball games and all that stuff back in the 70s, like hide it underneath their covers and listen. You could go a lot of different places with it. It's actually, I'm sure it's a very small sized radio as well. You got $17 out of it, and those actually are collectible. They make some that were shaped like a ball as well with different colors like that, and those actually are very, very collectible also. So that's a nice little find there. My only question is, what does he say? Please see the photographs. Not tested. He probably could have gotten more money had he tested it. Obviously, it's missing the battery and all that there.
Wait, so it's not really pocket portable, really?
Big pocket.
Because, you know, they make Bluetooth radios now that, like...
Well, I'm sure they do.
Right.
This would be probably about 20% wider and bigger than your cell phone.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit bigger than your cell phone, and it's obviously thicker than your cell phone as well. But back in the day, that was all the rage. And looking at the back there, they got the little over that way.
Oh.
They got the AM FM button right there too, so you could listen to AM or FM because those were your 2 options. There was no streaming, nothing at all like that. But definitely do keep your eyes open for those. Those things are out there. What do we have next, Random Neighborhood Kid?
We have a Halloween costume, but I picked it because I thought it was interesting because they bought it in April.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, adult size, full body Halloween costume, mask, cloak, hat. Yeah, and that's kind of a interesting picture there too with that.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it's Chucky.
that's not nice. As he goes away for 1 week and gets mocked. $117. Holy mackerel. Comes as showing. The cloak, mask, and hat are sized. Yeah, Halloween and Christmas are the 2 holidays that will sell all year round. What I tend to do is anything Halloween I find, I tend to buy and either list it or I put it away for a whatnot auction because I do have a holiday-themed whatnot auction once a year or around September or so. So anytime I find them, I pick them up. Even newer stuff sells on that, obviously, because that's going to be a newer one. And what's the next item we have, Random Neighborhood Kid? The last interesting thing you found.
A hat.
Well, there you go.
But it says upper deck.
It does.
And I don't know what that means, but
that doesn't mean what you think it
I
means.
know what upper decker means to me.
I'm sure you do. This is a family show, though.
Yeah.
It was actually a baseball card company, so you would be wearing it around for the irony of wearing it.
Yeah.
But nope, it was a baseball card company back 1989 on through. Meet the Stars snapback hat, $13.76, which actually seems kind of low for a snapback hat. But see, and that's where I like having you on the show, because you give a different perspective, because your generation, that's what you think of it as, with no idea at all of what the company is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting take on it. Good job by you.
Thank you.
Now we'll go to good job by me. What do you think of this, Random Neighborhood Kid? Royal Victoria Hotel, Pisa, Italy, 1925 bill with 5 hotel and tourism revenue stamps. I got $8 out of that.
You said this was in Italy?
Yes, it was.
It's probably still how they do it in Italy.
They very well. Look at that. It's got the tear on it and everything like that.
Yeah.
Literally, it is somebody's receipt from 1920s and 1925, and I got $8 for somebody's receipt. What do you think of that? Exactly.
It's awesome.
You need not say anything else than that breath of what is he talking about. Next nice item we have over here. This week on Okinawa Booklet, U.S. Military Japan. I actually picked up a few of these, and I was actually very surprised that this is the first one that I sold. Cannot be a lot of these made. It's for the Army base, or I believe it's Army, it's military base anyway, over in Okinawa, over in Japan. I'm going to have very few of them out there because it would have gone to the soldiers that were stationed over there, or sailors, or whatever they had over there. Not going to be a lot of them out there, and yet, for some reason, there's not a lot of demand for it. But I was able to get $26 for it. And even though it's Japanese, it's aimed at the soldiers. So it's all in English, and it's things that the soldiers were like do. It would tell the movies that were around the base and all that kind of stuff as well. And when they went into town, what they could do when they were in town. Go to the Princess Garden and everything. Yep. So surprised, actually, I didn't sell more of those. If you're watching this and you're interested in purchasing more this week at Okinawa, I have other issues available. Check out Papercoy. Next up, Fordham University football original comic art, Coach Jim Crowley. Now, I don't think any coach could really do that.
No.
I think you'd get in big trouble, especially nowadays. Piece of original art. I picked it up at Heritage. It did go for the $84, and it was one of those few things that I was able to pick up off at Heritage. There were 4 or 5 pieces of sports art, and I picked it up for a good price overall. And I believe this is the second piece of the art that I've sold, so I'm into the money on it. But it's really not that large. It's 7 1/4 by 12 1/4. So, 7 by 12 size. So it's not overly large, piece of original art, but I knew it would sell because I knew somebody would go to Fordham University. Do you have any idea at all where Fordham University is?
No.
New York City.
Okay.
It's an old university, and so that was another reason why I would know there'd be a lot of people who would want that. Do you know what MoMA is? Museum of Modern Art. There
That's
you
what I
go.
was going to say that.
July 1998, Tony Smith and I'll let you say the next gentleman's name.
Yayoi Kusama.
It's as good as I could do it.
Yep.
Just goes to show, I picked this up from another dealer who didn't want to list this, and I just took a chance on it, and it ended up selling to somebody. I don't know who Mr. Kusama is, but he sounds as though he might be a Japanese artist.
There he is.
He's very beautiful. And the person who purchased it had a Japanese name as well. So I expect that was probably what they were purchasing it for. And that just goes to show on something rather like this, you just never know what the keyword will sell it. Because had I not put that name in, if I'd put somebody else's name that was there, it may not have sold ever. So sometimes it's rolling the dice with keywords. Now, I probably could have taken the word magazine out in order to fit another keyword in, but I didn't, and it sold. Okay, now we're going to head on into the pop culture. You ready, Random Neighborhood Kid?
Yep.
You know all the big stars?
Yep.
You know, like, for example, Fabian,
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Rogers,
Oh, yeah.
and Frankie Avalon.
All of them.
Oh, what a night. I believe that's Frankie Avalon. Pictures, patches, sealed. Do you know what NOS stands for?
No.
Oh, you're halfway there. Nose. New old stock, which means that this is something like it would have just gone on the shelf. It's never been used, never been opened, never been anything at all like that. I actually bought these at an auction, and I thought I was doing really, really well on them. Turns out must have been a warehouse find on these because there were a lot of these out there, which is the reason why I put the 3 of them together. Usually I would break them up, and I intended to break them up. And then I realized that there was a warehouse find. I still made a couple of dollars on it, but it took me 3 years to make my money back. But yeah, those were some of the big stars of the early 1960s there.
So someone found a warehouse like 40 years later? Or
40, 50 years later,
40,
yeah,
50
they would have
years later.
found a bunch of boxes with that stuff in there, and then they flooded the market with them. Yep, and that's something you always fear in the secondhand trade is warehouse finds. And if something looks like that and you start seeing them all over the place, there was a warehouse find. I can think of a few different things that happened throughout the years, and you would see them showing up at the public auctions time after time after time. You're like, oh, that was a warehouse find. Yep, absolutely. Now we're going to give you another pop quiz on movie stars this time.
Yep.
TV Magazine, July 1956. Perry Como, Lawrence Welk, and Rosemary Clooney Do any of those names sound the least bit familiar?
Isn't there a George Clooney? Or no?
Indeed. That is his aunt.
Oh,
That is his aunt, Rosemary Clooney. Very good. You passed.
nice.
Perry Como, well, I was going to say he's a crooner, but what does it say right there on the front cover of that magazine?
He's not one.
Exactly. Indeed it does. So I'm not going to call him a crooner. I will respect him.
Yep.
And Lawrence Welk is wonderful, wonderful. He's inside as well. Ended up going for $20. Just goes to show that, none of those people have been in the news lately. None of those people are particularly trending right now. But you still can make the sales on the old stuff. And another reason, too, is putting a table of contents. Somebody may click through and see somebody else that they like, and they may collect somebody else from the 50s and see somebody else's name in there. Next thing we have over here, braiding Cincy beer vintage glass. Now, one thing you'll notice is...
It's white.
No, actually, it's clear. That's something or other that people do. They put paper inside it.
Oh.
It makes the logo stand out.
Oh.
So that's another little trick in there.
Or is that milk?
Yes, I filled it up with milk and then laid it down. But that's another little insider trick there. Do that. It makes the logo pop out. They can also see the size of it better on that over there. I've never heard of this, but one thing you'll notice as well, my title is very, very short. I did not put very many keywords in because I couldn't really think of much else to put. I guess I could have put the size in there. Was it probably a 16-ounce glass? And I mentioned down below 6 1/4 inches high. I could have put that in there. I did not do so. It wasn't a lot I can say, though. I don't know the first thing about the company. This actually was something or other I found at a thrift store. And I don't usually deal in glassware, but it was this and a bunch of other Kentucky Derby glasses were there. And I ended up buying a whole bunch of glassware and did well on that last year. So every once in a while, I step outside my comfort zone, and I ended up making this sale for $20. So you can't argue with that. And the final item we have here today, Fear and Loathing in Cycle World. Cycle World, March 1995, Hunter S. Thompson, Daytona 900. Do you know who Hunter S. Thompson is, Random Neighborhood Kid?
I'd assume he probably rides a motorcycle.
That is a very good assumption. In fact, right there at the top, Fear and Loathing on a Ducati 900. Hunter S. Thompson. He was actually a gonzo journalist. Started out Rolling Stone, did Fear and Loathing on a Campaign Trail, Fear and Loathing, some other Fear and Loathing book, which is actually better known that I don't remember. But anything of his definitely sells. A lot of people like Hunter S. Thompson. He definitely is a bolo. He is definitely something that if you see things of his out there, do pick up and do use him as a keyword. You will definitely make the sale because of that. This sold at auction for the $28, which isn't too bad for a magazine from 1995. I was quite happy with that, especially because I gave $40 for the entire, 100 magazines that I bought or something like that. So I'll do well out of that deal just thanks to this over here. Definitely want to thank Random Neighborhood Kid for sitting in. Definitely do appreciate it. You're a good sport about this, and channel does appreciate it. Everybody does appreciate it. If you could hit the like button, definitely would appreciate that as well. And next week, Mr. Magazine will be in his usual position, but let's give a standing ovation to Random Neighborhood Kid. Okay.
Thank you.
Hit the like button. We'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.